Hello and welcome to Subnautica. This is going to be a very relaxed, chill, not scary guide to getting started with Subnautica. I'm going to have it be very light on spoilers. I'm going to avoid as many spoilers as I can. We'll be playing survival, so we'll have to worry about food and water as well as health and oxygen. Going to get this started. If you're new to Subnautica, I mean, you're way behind the times, right? Because this has been out for quite a while. It just had its 8th birthday. It's a great game. I've played it many times, finished it many times. I enjoy it, and I think I can show you guys a few things that'll help you get started. Especially if you're a little bit worried about the scary nature of it. We'll see that it's not really that scary, and give you some strategies for how to avoid getting yourself too spooked. There's a lot of fun things to do in the game, and finishing it is a huge accomplishment. It takes a lot of work, and even if you don't want to finish it, even if you just want to play, even if you just like exploring, you can have a lot of fun with it. Alright, so starting off here, I have a bit of a fire I need to put out. Obviously, we just saw the spaceship we were on explode. We now have control. We're going to go ahead and pick up this, put out this fire real quick. This is optional. You could skip this whole sequence if you want. Alright. We'll see our little PDA here.
You have suffered minor head trauma. This is considered an optimal outcome. This PDA has now rebooted in emergency mode with one directive: to keep you alive on an alien world. Please refer to the databank for detailed survival advice. Good luck.
Okay. So we are here on this Lifepod. Let's take a quick look around. This is a damaged radio, and tells us to use the repair tool to fix it. We have a ladder. We have a hatch in the floor we'll talk about here in a second. Over here we have medical kit fabricator. We can open it and take a medical kit. Over here we have a storage area. We have a escape pod exit. There's one in the floor, one in the ceiling. I'm not going to take you to the one up on the roof. You can do that on your own. There's something interesting up there the first time you open it. I don't want to ruin the surprise. There is a damaged secondary systems. Again, use the repair tool to fix this. This is totally optional. We actually don't need to repair this at all, especially if we're not going to be spending a lot of time here in the Lifepod, which we are not. If you're playing this from scratch for the first time, you're definitely going to want to repair the radio. The radio is the main way that the game gives you clues about sort of where to go next. So if you're trying to beat the game on your own with minimal spoilers, this is pretty important. This guy right here is a fabricator. This allows you to craft items. This is going to be your best friend starting out. There are different recipes. And you can actually go and see what materials are needed for each recipe. One cool thing with one of the later updates that they did is they went ahead and gave some nice quality of life improvements, including one where you can go through and you can actually right click on different things and it'll display the recipe up here. So if you aren't sure exactly what you're looking for when you're out, you can go through and highlight different recipes so that you know to keep an eye out for those things. And I'm going to go ahead and just highlight a few because we are definitely going to want to go out and get some materials. All right, so at this point, there's no point in delaying any further. Let's go ahead and head into the water. It's our first dive. So we start the game here in the safe shallows.
cause unknown.
And we are right by a very nice location for gathering materials. So when you jump in the water for the first time, the game gives you a little clue here to break this deposit and gather some materials. We're going to go ahead and go up to the surface and get some air, because at this point we have very little material. This is the ship that we saw crashing in the intro. It's called the Aurora. At some point we'll need to explore that, but that's way, way, way in the future. So some materials that we need here. We need some of these acid mushrooms. I'm going to grab a few of those. And then we have a few other things that we need. Let's go ahead and go in here and grab a few these limestones.
Copper is an essential component of all powered equipment.
Basically, you click on them a few times.
Just increased to unlikely,
we don't need any of these, but let's go ahead and grab them anyways while we're here. Now we're down to 12 seconds of air, so we better get going. Don't know if we'll be able to make it out of here without drowning. If we die, I will drop most of the materials we've gathered and respawn back in the Lifepod, so no big deal. Alright, so we did make it to the air in time. Back down in, and let's get just a few more. These limestones, they're either going to have copper or titanium, so when you click those, you're going to get one of those two things. So these coral tubes are great locations early on for gathering some materials. Let's go ahead and look for one more thing. Let's see if there's any. Yeah, here we go. So this is metal salvage. This is things that broke off the ship when it crashed. That's a great source of titanium, which is a major thing that we need. So let's go ahead back in here and let's do a little bit of crafting. So one thing we want as early as possible is one of these scanners. It requires a battery and some titanium. So we can go up here, we can craft the battery because we grabbed the acid mushrooms and the copper. Another thing we can do is we can craft some additional titanium because we grabbed that metal salvage. That'll give us enough titanium there where we can build a few things here. One is the scanner that we wanted.
The scanner can be used to synthesize blueprints from salvage technology and to record alien biological data.
Get an air tank as well, just so we can stay underwater longer.
New blueprint acquired.
Alright, and we no longer need the recipe for the scanner or the air tank, so let's go ahead and clear those recipes. And we'll leave the battery one up there just to remind us. But we've got enough to craft another battery now. All right. So when you get a grabbable, foldable tool, it gets put down here on the bottom bar. And then each one of those spots corresponds to a number on the keyboard. So if I go ahead and hit 2, it'll bring up the thing in the second spot. That is our handy dandy scanner. We swim faster with nothing in our hand, so I'm going to go ahead and put that away for now. And what we're going to do is we're going to go and look for a few items. We know we need rubber, and although I didn't pin the recipe for rubber is uses these clusters, and I can see some out here. They glow yellow. Let's swim out here. This is a slightly more dangerous area, but because we have nothing in our hands, it's relatively safe. If we had some metal in our hands, these little shark-looking guys down at the bottom, these are stalkers. I would probably be trying to take a bite of us. Because we don't have anything in our hands, we're somewhat safe, although they still may attack us. If so, they'll just take a quick chomp. Before I head back, let's see if we can find anything else of interest in the immediate area. So we're looking for more materials. But also we're looking for, let's grab this salvage right here. And I saw limestone right here. Let's grab that too. Titanium. Could use a little bit more copper, but that's fine. We're looking for different things that we can scan. Now we could scan animals, we could scan different materials, we could scan all sorts of stuff, but there's a specific thing that I'm looking for that will help us out, which is a blueprint. And unfortunately, it looks like we've got none right in our immediate vicinity. Let's just keep going around here a little bit and see what we can find. So since we're playing survival, we do have to keep an eye on water and hunger. The message that just popped up, don't get used to that, because it'll only give you that warning the first time. After that, it's your responsibility to keep an eye on those gauges yourself. You grab this little guy. That's a bladder fish.
Alien life forms may have unexpected
You can grab a lot of these different fishes. Some of them you can eat, some of them you can use in crafting. But yeah, let's just go ahead and grab that one. It may come in handy. Hint, hint. All right, as I mentioned, we have the clusters we need to craft the rubber, so let's go ahead and do that. We also have this lubricant. We don't need that yet, but we can go ahead and craft it.
In construction of vehicles and power plants.
One more battery. Okay, we only have one copper left. Okay, we can go ahead and craft a few more things. Let's go ahead and do the knife. One of the few weapons in the game.
Weapons were removed from standard survival blueprints following the massacre on Abraxas Prime. The knife remains the only exception.
So when you're in this, basically I hit the tab key to bring up our inventory. When you're in here, you can change what different things are. You can also drag and drop them. So I'm going to leave scanner and spot one for now. And the knife we aren't going to use very much, but we want to have it. Another thing we can get here is fins. These will just help us swim a little faster.
The fabricator draws from available data.
We'll unpin the fins, we'll unpin the knife.
Using locally available materials.
We can unpin the rubber.
This setting cannot be overridden.
All right. So you can see it's already dark, which lets you know that either we were very unlucky or days are very short. And it is the latter. We have very short days. We also have different phenomena that will cause darkness at random or near random times. So it'll be good to get some light sources. And one of them is the thing that I'm looking for recipes on, and I just cannot find. This is another area where I would have hoped that they'd be visible. Let's try in this direction. I don't think we've gone over here yet. So you might notice with our air tank, we're able to stay underwater a lot longer, only occasionally needing to go up for air, and we're also swimming faster because of the fins. So this may be the longest I've ever played without seeing these. Okay, here's one. All right, so you'll see that there are these different boxes, and there are items in it that we can scan. And here's another one right over here. So if this is the same thing, it is. We now have 2 scanned pieces of something called a Seaglide. And that is what I was looking for. So by scanning parts, you gather blueprints, and that allows you to craft those items. Critically important. So when you're in the water, you do have on the HUD or your superimposed on your field of view is your where your life pod is and what the distance is. So that's very useful for finding your way back. All right, we can put this away. And now under deployables, we have the recipe for the Seaglide, and we can pin that. And the only thing we're missing here is copper wire. And that takes 2 copper. Now we have everything we need to craft this, so let's go ahead and do that.
The Seaglide will increase your effective exploration range. For your safety, please pack supplies for long journeys and stay within 5 kilometers of the nearest life pod or habitat.
Okay. So that is a personal transportation device, which we'll be using. Let's go ahead, and it's telling us that we need to eat something. So let's go ahead, and I opened up this little storage container down here, and there was food and water and flares. I'm not going to do anything with the flares for now, but now that we've got this, we can go ahead and drink and eat. And so you can see that we have these different gauges down here that show us the yellow is food or hunger. So 94, we're pretty full. We're not as full as we could be. Let's go ahead and eat another one. Usually the max is 100, but if you eat something when you're under 100, it doesn't, it gives you the full credit. So we're way above 100%. Now, water does not behave the same way. It is capped at 100. So if we were to drink another bottle of water, it would only take us up to 100. When your food and water gauges are pretty full, your health will regenerate on its own. Now, the biggest gauge here is the most important, obviously your oxygen. It's measured in seconds, not an arbitrary percentage. This can actually go negative before you actually drown. So you have several seconds of darkness before you actually die. We're going to want to collect some more stuff, so let's go ahead and craft some more items and see if we can free up a little bit of additional space. And let's see if there's anything else we want to craft. We do have something here called the air bladder, and it involves using silicone rubber and the bladder fish. I'm going to go ahead and craft that. That's something that is super useful. In fact, it's very overpowered in this current build of the game. You can use it to refill your air tanks, and you can also use it to rise to the surface very quick. So it's something you always want to have on your quick access bar here. All right, and then let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and move this to spot number 1 because the Seaglide is very, very useful to us. And it has a headlight, which is wonderful. So we can do some searching here at night, although it's starting to get day again. All right, so let's go back here into our friend, the coral tube. We can turn on the light if we want. It does use the battery faster if you have the light on, so if you don't need it, you should leave it off, and I think we can get by without it here. Now, we've been getting limestones. This is a different material called sandstone. And the sandstone gives different craftable materials. There's silver, lead, and gold.
Are an essential component of many habitat modules.
Oh, we gotta run for a second. All right. That noise was a bad guy, a fish called a crash fish, and they are super annoying. We'll talk about them later and how to deal with them, but one nice thing, they leave behind sulfur. Basically, they chase after you and they explode. If you've got your Seaglide, you can outrun them. So if you hear one coming for you, just run, and you will most likely escape it. All right, let's go ahead and get out of here. When you're swimming, the space bar will have you swim to the surface. So anytime you're, oops, let's get out of this guy's way. Anytime you hit the space bar, you'll rise up. There's also a key to dive down, but I always just point down. I don't even remember what it is. I'll try to look it up and flash it on the screen here for you. So right now we're just gathering some materials. I'm sure I'm missing stuff. A lot of the materials, especially the sandstone, always spawns in the same spot. So if you recognize a spot from a previous playthrough, you'll know that the sandstone will always be there. Keep in mind though that the materials do not respawn. They only show once per save. Let's go ahead and figure out what it is we want to build next. The next most useful thing, I think, is this guy right here. We can go ahead and turn off this. We don't need the battery recipe anymore. This is something called a habitat builder, and basically what that'll do is that'll let us build parts of a base. This is super critical to advancing in the game, because unless you want to stay in your crappy little Lifepod here, you'll definitely want to establish a base somewhere, whether it's a tiny base or a big base. And like I say, it really is critical to advancing in the game. Let's go ahead and we will need a wiring kit for this. We'll also need a CPU, a computer chip. So looks like we need silver, which we already have some. We'll need more copper, which we're out of. This is a table coral, which we'll be able to find pretty easily. A battery as well. So we have a lot of materials that we need to gather. Let's head back out. So even though the location of the life pod at the beginning of the game is random, it's in the same general area most of the time. So there are locations that you can head that are going to have more materials. And this is kind of a light spoiler, but if you look at the direction that the aurora is pointing in, if you head in this general direction, there's stuff here in this direction that's useful, and we don't have to go too far to find some of it. One of the things that we should find in this direction is a lava cave, which is loaded full of wonderful materials. So let's head in that direction and see if we can find it. We may or may not be lined up in a way that we'll find it easily, but oh, look at that. It was pretty close. So we're less than 200 meters away from our pod, and here we found this. So it's pretty distinctive. If you watch for a little bit, you'll see it start to kind of erupt and send up this steam. And like I said, there's a lot of very useful materials down here. So let's go down here and gather a few. There are multiple levels. I should quit picking those up because those are really not what we're here for. We're really here for the sandstone. And if we follow this level around, we'll find several little collections of them here. And what we are most interested in, let's go ahead and get rid of the lead. We don't need any of this quartz either. But I do want to grab the silver. These items that we drop here will stay here. We can come back and get them later if we want. I don't know if we'll need them or not. Like I said, the sandstone, especially the silver, is what we're here for.
Seconds.
And we're down to 30 seconds. We pretty much explored this level, I think. We got all of it. Let's make our way back up here. When you get down in the hotter parts of this, you will take some damage, but not a tremendous amount. Alright, so we now have lots of silver, not much copper, so we need to go and find some regular limestone to get some additional copper. There's one. Also gets kind of hard to see when that happens. There's another copper. Let's see what else we can see. inventory full. Let's go ahead and drop one of these guys. Oh, we do have a lot of copper. Why did I think we didn't have much copper? All right, so we're good. Let's go ahead then and so here when we look at this, you can see, yeah, we're kind of in a line. So we can sort of tell which direction. Now, one thing, if you didn't know it, there's not a map in Subnautica. I mean, there's a map in that everything shows up in the same place every playthrough, but there's not a map you can bring up and look at. So as you go, there are some techniques you can use to navigate. There is a compass that you can get. There are different things you can use to sort of have directional markers called beacons. But those are things that are not really necessary if you kind of pay attention and you sort of learn the lay of the land. So building our habitat builder, we need, we're going to need a copper wire. We still need the table coral. We haven't gotten that. We're going to need another battery. We're out of acid mushrooms, so we need acid mushrooms, and we need the table coral. All right, so table coral is this stuff right here. So if we go ahead and grab our knife, we can cut it and grab it. Let's get a couple extra. We're inventory full. I should have unloaded some stuff, because we're also going to need the acid mushrooms. So you know, we can unload a bunch of things here. Anything we don't really need desperately, we can store. We can build additional storage once we have our habitat builder. All right, so let's go get the acid mushrooms real quick. These acid mushrooms are everywhere, so you never have to work hard to find them. We get one extra. So I think we should have everything we need now. We'll go ahead and build our battery. We'll build our computer chip.
New blueprint acquired.
And we will build our habitat builder.
Is designed to construct habitats capable of withstanding extreme environmental conditions.
So other things that we could get if we wanted to, we could get a repair tool to fix the Lifepod here, get rid of all that smoking and sparking, and also fix the radio. The flashlight. I find the flashlight on the Seaglide to be enough, but if you're going to spend a lot of time exploring dark areas, having a flashlight might be worth it to you. We also have a high capacity O2 tank. And I think that this is something that would probably be worth it. We don't have, we can't build any glass because we put all of our quartz away. So let's grab, oh, we actually dropped a lot of quartz. I was not thinking ahead here. Okay, we'll keep an eye out for that. But that's going to be something we definitely want to get sooner rather than later. Let's see, let's grab some. Yeah, in fact, we want to get some like now. Let's go ahead and grab get our bearings here and head back to where we had that volcanic, where was that? Somewhere over here. Should be right around here, I think. Yep, there we go. Let's go in and grab the stuff that we left. We can find it again. Yeah, here we go. Don't really want the lead that much, but let's go ahead and grab these so we don't have to get them again. All right, and while we're here, this is kind of a useful location. Let's go ahead and just build a little base just so I can show you how to build the base. We don't want to be too close to these guys. These gasopods they release toxic balls, yellow balls that can hurt you. But we can definitely build right around here. I think is fine. So if we hold the builder tool and right click, we have option to build different things. This is just a little tubular guy. We can go ahead and do that. If I go ahead and right click again, we can do a hatch. So that will allow us to get in and out. You need to have a way to get in and out. And let's do a power source. So if we grab a solar panel and put it right on top, as soon as your base has power, it will start providing oxygen. So now our oxygen refills. We have a little tiny place here where we can stash stuff. This is super useful when you're exploring, just building little tiny guys like this. You could actually, pepper these all over the place so that you can navigate from, area to area, going from base to base, sort of like, island hopping underwater. Not necessarily the most efficient way to get around and to explore, but it's certainly pretty safe because, you only have to be swimming between, one safe area and another safe area. Okay, so the thing that we still want to build is that upgraded oxygen tank. And now that we have that quartz, we can go ahead and head back and make the glass that we need. Just grab this quartz here while we're here. Well, anyways, this geyser is one of the few places in the safe shallows where we could get a large amount of materials. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and build our base here. There's more of it to explore than we've seen. There are a lot more materials down there. So it's a handy place to have an initial tiny base. But yeah, right now let's go ahead and focus on getting that high capacity O2 tank. All right, so for this, I'm sorry, wrong one. All right, so we want the glass. So we should have, we should be able to do glass now. So let's go ahead and do some glass. Turn off these ones we've already got. So again, we need some more titanium, which we should have, and we need the tank. So we already have a tank. We're wearing it. We can take it off, and then we need still a little bit of titanium. We should have some in here. All right. Let's get this. And when you're crafting things, you'll notice that other things will pop up. So like right now, we have something new pop up called a Rebreather. And this reduces your oxygen use when you're diving deep. So this is something that's going to be super useful to us. So let's go ahead and let's construct this as well. I didn't grab the recipe. Let's go ahead and do that, and we're done with this recipe. So right now we just need some fiber mesh. So if we come up here and look, is fiber mesh something that we know about? It looks like it may not be. So this is future me jumping back in with a little bit of explanation here. So I tried to do this all in a single take, but I did make a mistake. There was a critical scene that we missed out on. After you craft the knife, when you go in among these creep vines, you're supposed to get a helpful little message to tell you to cut a bit of the creep vine off. I'm going to go ahead and simulate that now. You can see here's the message, cut the creep vine with knife. And if you go in and actually cut the creep vine with your knife, it gives you little fragments of that. And that is what unlocks the recipe for doing the fiber mesh. A little bit of a editing trick here to make this work out right, but you'll see we now have what we need. We can now craft the fiber mesh from the creeper vine sample. Right, and we're going to make the rebreather. All right, at this point, we have a high capacity oxygen tank. We can go deep. Although it's not obvious at this point, you as a diver can go as deep as you want to go. You can go all the way to the bottom. Now, vehicles that you might craft cannot go that deep, with the exception of the one that we just crafted, which is the Seaglide. The Seaglide can go as deep as you want to go. You can explore everywhere on this alien planet using the equipment we have here, as long as you have a way to replenish your oxygen. So it's very cool. By going through and getting these materials in less than a half hour or an hour, you can have everything you need to go anywhere you want on this planet. So I think I'm going to go ahead and end this tutorial here. I'm going to do another one here in the near future that'll be dealing with the creatures and dangers in the early part of the game. So taking a look at some of the bad guys and creatures. We've already talked about some of them here, but I want to do sort of like a deeper dive where we talk more about what some of the risks are and kind of give you strategies for dealing with them early on. So if that appeals to you, please be sure to subscribe, and I'd also appreciate a like and any comments you might have. Thanks for watching. See you next time.